Good evening from London. My name is Vikas Pota, and today I am bringing a guest to this platform to talk about and to get glimpses on what happens in Turkey. Please welcome a friend of mine and a partner of the World Education Week, Arzu Atasoy from ÖRAV, which is an NGO that actually is solely focused. Its main focus is around teacher development and in terms of their personal and professional lives. Arzu, welcome to the T4 live stream. And one of the things that I really enjoy about this platform and what we do through T4 are the conversations that we have with friends around the world. And it gives the others who are watching an ability to understand what happens in these contexts, because especially in these times, it's very difficult to travel to places like around the world. So thank you so much for agreeing to take part in this live stream. Arzu, tell us in terms of, in Turkey, what has been the impact of the global pandemic?
Hello, Vikas and everybody. Good evening from Istanbul. Thank you very much for hosting us. In Turkey, actually, it was one of the quickest countries that produced a recovery system according to the global pandemic, we could say, when compared to other countries. Even before the pandemic, the Ministry of Education had begun preparing an online platform for learning. So there was an infrastructure getting prepared, but when the pandemic appeared, it fastened. It became quicker and it accelerated. 3 TV channels were formed in a week. So television was the main device to reach every single kid. Of course, we weren't able to. Like in many other countries, there are still students or children we couldn't reach, but teachers also welcomed and tried to learn really hard on how to reach every single student of theirs. So there was a kind of a good collaboration in terms of teacher support and among the teacher community, I could say. There are 1 million teachers in Turkey in state schools, so it's a huge population. 60% is under the age 40, a very young population. Wow. So they grabbed whatever they can do. They try to learn whatever they can to benefit to transfer to their teachers, students. So those were really huge efforts. In terms of some disadvantaged children, we could say, I'm not really sure about the Syrian population here because they had certain difficulties, and in addition to them, this pandemic occurred. So because they didn't attend school in person, tracking their continuous education was hard, I guess. And also there were some students who didn't have access to any kind of computer or digital device. So teachers tried to find new ways. So there was huge enthusiasm and resilience, I could say, in the country.
And so how do you get over that resilience? Oh, the resistance, rather.
There are a couple of things. First of all, to get over that, we need to habitualize it. We need to first make look at ourselves. What have we done? To analyze what we have done in the last 4 months, what we were successful in, what we need to improve, and how can we reach every single student so that they have their education rights continued. So those are the analysis maybe that should be done at the first place, and to build skills, to work on skills that we require. It's not the knowledge. Everybody, somebody outside the street can learn how to use this platform, for example. But how, why, with whom, and when, kinds of questions need to be asked, and teachers are inexperienced in terms of these kinds of things. So they need to obtain these skills first.
Thank you so much. And for those that are watching, if you have any questions about the state of education in Turkey, please do leave a comment that we can see, and then Arzu, I'm sure we're more than happy to respond. What I wanted to ask you, Arzu, is that many parts of the world, as a result of the pandemic, have seen actually the widening of inequality in their countries. And there's very many solutions being thought about in terms of not just education continuity, but how do we make up for the learning loss that has occurred? Do you have any views on that, given that you are focused on education and on teachers?
Well, as an educator for 23 years, I believe that learning gap can be closed. It's the social and emotional damage that has to be recovered. So knowledge can be acquired anywhere. That's why, the school is a place where all the disadvantages are diminished. Disadvantages due to socio-economic reasons. So that connection with their teachers, that recognition from their teachers was lost. And in their family environments, if the student or the child is deprived of a healthy care and attention and an environment to support the well-being and the healthy growth, that is the disadvantage. That is the new responsibility, I think.
I hear you. I'm not saying no to you on that, and I'm sure we will come to that in a second. What I want to actually look at, Arzu, is this point about learning loss specifically. So you say that as teachers, teachers are equipped in dealing with learning loss. Tell us in terms of how they're thinking about approaching this in Turkey.
Well, in the past, we also had some additional extracurricular courses for kids having difficulty in learning. So that's probably going to be arranged again, but according to the rules of the health ministry, I guess. So teachers will try to reach individually. Therefore, differentiating learning becomes an issue. So teachers both need to learn how to differentiate learning, plus they need to reach the kids. And I think it's at the weekends or in the afternoons, they will have some additional support. But the holiday dates and the school dates are not changed.
When does your school year run from and to?
This year, it's going to begin on the 31st of August.
Okay, so you're on summer vacation now?
Yes, in summer vacation.
Wonderful. So we have a question over here from Monette, which is, how ready are your teachers in this new normal setting?
Well, that's a good question. Thank you for it. I think we don't have enough data to just comment on it yet, but teachers are at least willing, I could say. They just did whatever they had to do for an intervention. They are reflecting on themselves. What did I do? What I don't know and have to learn. So they are now in the phase of evaluation.
And so then you have a second question, I think, from India, from Bandanpreet Mahajan, who says, how are practical subjects being handled during this pandemic?
We've seen some teachers, and the Ministry of Education also provided programs on TV for example, physical education or arts classes. They also had their place in the programs. But other than that, it was really difficult to get to the kids, to reach them, to develop.
Tell us, Arzu, in terms of, I know that you have an interest in technology. How do you see technology's role going forward as a result of the pandemic?
In terms of educational technologies, I know that some futurists have told that the biggest companies in the world will be the biggest company in the world will be an education company who provides individual differentiated learning. So that's what the futurists have said a couple of years ago. So I see that in the future. Technology should be accepted, placed in a correct way. It shouldn't just occupy all our lives, but should be used as a device, as a tool, not the target. So that's what teachers have to keep in mind, and that's what we are advocating as well. And especially, the artificial intelligence programs and other developments in technology will allow us to reach individually.
Do you think, I mean, there's a huge argument that's being proposed, and I say this because other people are saying it, okay? Please don't interpret it as my view. But there's a view that I would love to explore with you that, robots could replace teachers. What is your view on that?
I don't think they will.
But why?
Because humans are social creatures, so we need connection, we need recognition, we need feedback and reflection from other counterparts for our healthy social and psychological well-being. That's why. And the robots, I don't think they can do it just like a person do. And well, they could provide many things, but not the human touch.
So it's quite interesting that we have partnered together on that last T4 conference, which you did a great job in Turkey to promote and do a lot of things around. And now you're also part of the next endeavor, which is World Education Week, that takes place from the 5th to the 9th of October. Do you want to say why you're collaborating and what the motivation is for ÖRAV in terms of doing so?
Well, when we heard about the T4 conference, we were really enthusiastic about bringing Turkish teachers a perspective of how their colleagues all around the world are doing. Because when you look just inside the country and look around, you see a limited perspective. So, and we wanted teachers all from, in our country to have that sense of belonging to a community in the rest of the world, with the rest of the teaching team, people with the same mission, people with similar skills. So we wanted to know them to understand that the difficulties they're going through have some similarities in other people's lives, and other people have some solutions. They also have some solutions. So this exchange of ideas, learning from each other, and sense of collaboration is the biggest thing. The reason why we were bridge. We wanted to bridge, be a bridge for.
And what have you seen after participating in the last T4 conference?
Well, the T4 conference was actually found very interesting in Turkey by many teachers. So we wanted to analyze each theme of T4 conference. And actually, as an NGO, we care about voluntary work. And some teachers said they had prepared a report of the conference from the tweets in Turkish. Yes. So they wanted to, they didn't know what to do with it. They wanted to share it. So we thought maybe we could, arrange a live stream and share that report with all the teaching community in Turkey in Turkish. That's how we began. And then 4 other weeks were spared for each theme of the conference. So we reached thousands of teachers after those, broadcasts as well. And yesterday, actually, that was a very nice feedback. One of the teachers wrote to me from Twitter, said he had watched all our broadcasts on T4, and then a couple of days ago went to an interview. He talked about what he learned through those broadcasts, and he was offered a job. So he
high five.
Yeah, that's, we just had an impact, even a small maybe for us, but a huge one for that person's life, for that colleague's life. So that's like a comradeship, that's how we perceive teaching and teachers in the world.
But tell me about one of the challenges, and what I've committed myself to for a long time is around the status of teachers. And I wanted to understand from you in terms of, how are teachers perceived in Turkey?
In the past, they were the most respected people in the country. The whole society said teachers, teachers, teachers. But as time passed, maybe it's because of this disruptive environment of this VUCA life, volatile, uncertain, and other dynamics maybe. Teachers are still very important at the heart of every family in the country. But in terms of reputation, we need to build more skills to gain that previous reputation. So both sides need to show some effort.
Great. I mean, I also am curious as to what your view on, I get asked this a lot, which is what is your view on the future of education? Given where you are, given the purpose of education as you have espoused it, I'd love to hear what you think the future looks like when we come back and return to school after COVID immediately and then going forward.
Well, right after COVID, I mean, in Turkey, on the 31st of August, the schools are said to be opening. So first, we need to organize the operation. They should be lean so that everybody knows what to do. First, the operation of the flow should be set up. And recovery curriculum is very, very necessary, because kids have gotten bored. They were, struggling with many other factors. They were deprived of social interaction, connection. So these are the first actions that have to be done. In terms of education quality, teachers are going to be learning a lot. They will be, trying to find every single opportunity to learn. But for the future of education, I believe a more hybrid version, maybe. Kids will question, why are we spending such long time in this building? So if we don't fulfill that need for curiosity, for satisfaction, kids will demand us to change our systems. I think that's going to happen in the close future. So our systems have to get ready for that. In terms of higher education, I've seen some signals, but maybe it will sound like a futuristic estimation, but I think being a graduate of, for example, Harvard will not be the case anymore. I might be getting a course from one professor from this university, one from another part of the world, and I will have to just collect or complete a list of requirements or courses that will make me recognized as that with that profession. But the name of universities will not matter anymore, and location will not matter.
That's very interesting. Arzu, in terms of when you talk about the future of education, do you think the entire opportunity to change will slip us by and we go back to our old ways of doing things?
I think there's no way going back.
What gives you that optimism?
You mean the normal life? No, I don't think we're going to be living in the same way anymore.
Why do you say that? Because the world has faced so many cataclysmic episodes that education hasn't changed, and so I'm trying to understand what gives you the confidence that this time things will change.
Well, this time it's something that affected the rest of the world and economy. Economy leads everything. So I'm sad to say, in the world as a system, it should be the education which leads the economy or the other industries, but it's the economy that leads other businesses. So as long as the economy requires this, we have to adapt to whatever those circumstances require. That's unfortunate to say, but that's the case, I think.
Arzu, please know that I, on behalf of the entire T4 organization, am very honored to know you and very pleased with the support that we're receiving for World Education Week that is taking place from the 5th to the 9th of October, where we hope to put on 100 virtual events that are led by schools as a way of demonstrating the excellence that resides in schools all over the world, so that others can understand and accelerate what their own journeys towards excellence as a result of seeing what their peers in another part of the world or another school are doing. And I look forward to seeing some Turkish schools as part of the Global Showcase that week. So please accept my thanks. And I encourage everyone who's watching this live stream to also visit www.worldeduweek.org. And please apply to take part in this showcase if you're a school leader and you can make sense in terms of your expertise in one of the 5 areas we're looking for. I look forward to seeing you again, Arzu, and receiving your support. Please know that we are very grateful. Thank you. So let's carry on. You can have the last word.
Okay. Yeah, thank you very much for hosting us. It's been a pleasure to collaborate with T4 community in this conference and in the previous conference and the future work that we are thrilled to support. And good evening, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Arzu. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.